My flight from Bangkok to Penang took 1 hour 50 minutes. Upon clearing arrivals, it was late, so I jumped in an airport taxi and headed for my hotel in Georgetown, which took around 25 minutes from the airport at a cost of 38 Malaysian ringgit. The following day, my Penang adventure would begin. The British colonial past and the cultural influences of the Malaysian, Chinese and Indian population, among others, are what makes Penang so special. In its multicultural capital, Georgetown, I discover Penang's rich heritage with temples, mosques, colourful markets, street art and delicious food. Penang is located on the northwest coast of Malaysia by the Malacca Strait. It has two parts, Penang Island, where the capital city Georgetown is located, and Seberang Perai on the Malay Peninsula. They are connected by Malaysia's two longest road bridges, the Penang Bridge and the Sultan Abdul Halim Muazzam Shah Bridge. So this is my hotel in Penang, Hotel Penanga. I'm staying here for a week and the cost is 340 British pounds for the week. It's a nice sized room, beautifully decorated, really high ceilings, got a ceiling fan and an air conditioning unit, beautiful ancient decoration, a little bit dark, but really nice. So this is where I'm staying in Penang, Malaysia, for the next week. This was my first visit to Penang, although I had previously spent some time in Kuala Lumpur. Georgetown has always been a place that I wanted to see, and I'd even pondered the idea of settling in Penang when I planned my retirement. However, the Malaysian government's changes to their MM2H visa during a pandemic made me abandon my thoughts of retiring here. On my first day in Penang, I decided to visit Penang Hill, which is around 10 kilometres from Georgetown. You head up to the upper station via a 10-minute funicular railway ride. That costs 30 ringgit. There are fantastic, breathtaking panoramic views of the island and the mainland at the top. The hill itself provides a lush, forested area offering a haven for wildlife and many endemic plant species, meaning it is a rich biodiversity. Rolling hills, pristine rainforest, lush flora and conservation awareness education make Penang Hill a must-see attraction. Another compelling reason to visit is the temperature is usually around 5 degrees cooler than the lowlands, with much better air quality. Penang Hill does get busy, especially at weekends, so come early to enjoy the experience without the crowds of tourists, or visit at sunset for a different experience. Georgetown does have plenty of bars and restaurants which come alive at night. My personal favourite watering hole was La Fiesta on Jalan Argyle, which is an Indian-owned bar offering tasty food and sports coverage. Gravy Baby Bar and Restaurant on Chulia Street offers decent pies and cocktails, although it's a little on the pricey side. The screens show K-pop videos, and this is a lively nighttime venue. The best way to see Georgetown is to rent a trishaw for a couple of hours. If you do this early in your stay, it is a great way to orientate yourself so you know exactly where all the tourist hotspots are. The driver will also add some interesting facts whilst guiding you around the town. If you tell the driver from the outset what you're interested in visiting, he'll tailor the ride to incorporate your chosen attractions. I told my driver that I was interested in seeing the street art, and he took me to see out-of-the-way art, which I would have had difficulty locating myself without guidance. Penang's tourist board commissioned cast iron signs telling the history of different parts of Georgetown with amusing cartoon-style graphics. The Marking Georgetown initiative was started by the state government of Penang to explore the ideas in art for public spaces and to celebrate its UNESCO World Heritage Site status. An international contest was held for this purpose in 2009. The winner was a Malaysian studio sculpture at work with the design concept called Voices from the People. As a result of this, more than 50 humorous designs made from wrought iron were erected on the city's building walls. Each caricature tells a story of heritage, culture, traditions and beliefs in key areas of the city. Street art is one of the most famous attractions in Penang. In an effort to continue boosting the tourism industry, a renowned artist from Lithuania named Ernest Zakharevich was commissioned to paint 6 murals during the Georgetown Festival of 2012. Zakharevich's work has gone on to inspire lots of other local artists to create their own street art. An important feature of street art in Penang is that it is temporary. The climate in Malaysia, damp and hot, is unforgiving to painted surfaces, with the colour pigmentation in the paint quickly breaking down. Ernest Zakharevich has already returned once to Penang to touch up some of his 2012 work. The positive side of this is, however, that the city's art scene is constantly evolving, with new people, new ideas having the chance to make it onto the city's walls, thereby providing new points of interest for returning visitors. Jalan Penang is one of the major streets in Georgetown and is a great focal point to walk around historical Georgetown. I stayed in a hotel close by, which ensured I could walk to many of the local shops, bars, restaurants and markets. If you want to be close to the action and just a few minutes away from Chinatown, Little India and Penang's famous street art, then focus your hotel booking around this area. Tourists can easily travel throughout the island. Buses and taxis are the most common forms of transport. Important attractions on the island are usually nearby one of the many bus stops. If you don't want to wait for a bus, you can always take a taxi. There are always taxis in abundance at every tourist area on the island. Unfortunately, Penang has a bad reputation when it comes to its taxi service. Taxi drivers do not tend to use meters, and especially tourists sometimes overpay. Download the Grab app, which will give you an indication of a fair price for your journey. The clan jetties are traditional overwater settlements that have been created by Chinese immigrants who came to Malaysia in the 19th century. There have been 10 jetties in total, however devastating fires and recent construction projects means 4 have since been destroyed. The most well known is the Chu Jetty, which is open so visitors can observe what life on a clan jetty is like. Many Chinese arrivals in Penang worked as dock workers or boat operators on local sampans, ferrying people and cargo. To stay close to their work by the waterfront and to help their chances of setting up local Chinese communities, the ramshackle clan jetties were established over the water. Although there are efforts to preserve these floating villages as an integral part of heritage of Penang, the jetties have lost much of its authenticity. They were originally constructed to house the port labourers who were too poor to find housing on the land. Today, the descendants of these labourers are no longer finding work in Penang Harbour, now that the harbour work has been very much mechanised. Therefore, what is preserved is not the jetties as they were, but a shanty town. Even the building material for the clan jetties has evolved. From the original thatch roofing, the houses now have zinc roofs and satellite dishes. It is definitely rewarding taking a trip to visit the clan jetties, with each having its own temple and unique style. The long, narrow, rickety wooden walkways bordered by simple shops and houses lead you to great views of the waterfront. The canteen at China House is situated a short walk from the Chu Jetty, and it is a bistro and bar offering decent food and live music in the evenings. Beer is on the expensive side, however, it's worth a visit when you're in town. This place only gets busy later on during the night. Chong Fat Su's Blue Mansion in Lee Street was constructed before the end of the 19th century. The mansion's external decorations and indigo blue outer walls make it a very distinctive building in Georgetown. Chong Fat Su was a wealthy Penang merchant who used the Blue Mansion as his private residence. Today, it is a museum which you can visit for a guided tour and also stay at night, as it is a 18-room 4-star hotel. The Blue Mansion has featured in many movies, including the 2018 film Crazy Rich Asians. The Cenotaph War Memorial was built in 1948 after the original, opened in 1929, was destroyed by Allied forces bombings in 1944 during the Japanese occupation of Penang. The cenotaph was fashioned as a scaled-down semblance to the Whitehall Cenotaph in London, constructed out of granite blocks and adorned with bronze plaques. Located nearby is City Hall, which is the local government headquarters in the city. Built by the British, it now serves as the seat of the Penang Island City Council. Located on Esplanade Road, it overlooks the historic parade ground. Fort Cornwallis is a bastion fort in Georgetown, built by the British East India Company in the late 18th century. At the time of the fort's construction, it was the largest standing fort in Malaysia. The fort never engaged in combat during its operational history. There is little to see here, and a 30-minute visit should be sufficient. A stone's throw away is the Jubilee Clock Tower, built in a Moorish style to commemorate Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee in 1897 and completed in 1902. The clock tower is is slightly tilted as a result of bombing during the Second World War. Penang is a melting pot of cultures, and its history makes it a fascinating place to visit. It is a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site and has plenty to offer visitors looking to explore its captivating history, colonial past, diverse multicultural society, unspoilt beaches, outstanding nature, charming street art and exquisite food.